Alright, so I have a rather interesting, bizarre battle today. Now, you're not going to be able to see the Dwarven army yet, but wait until I get in game. You'll see that they only have 46 troops, which is kind of, I guess, like, it's obvious what he's got. I mean, what unit do the Dwarves have that has an incredibly small number of troops? So, you'll see what I mean, but actually, in theory, the army that the Dwarf player brought actually isn't that bad if you go against dual Vampire Council, and I'll explain why, because tactically this was a very bizarre battle. I mean, so we just have, you know, typical swarm vampire counts. We don't play spam vampire counts like the Death Star. We just kind of go for the whole kind of low friendly, overwhelm and outflank, that type of stuff. A lot of meat shields, you know, a lot of good damage dealers, and then, you know, I mean, we don't use Law of Death. We only use Law of Vampires. But the opponent went for all gyrocopters. So I mean, when I initially saw this, I guess me and Empty were kind of like weirded out by why would you go all gyrocopters. That's a bit of a bizarre tactic, but you know, in theory, thinking about it, it's actually not that bad. I mean, against vampire counts, it's actually a pretty good strategy, because the only thing these guys can do in terms of, you know, being killed by the vampire counts is, well, magic. Magic is the only thing the vampire counts have that can destroy gyrocopters. Yeah, these guys have a 20% resistance to magic, so the idea of going all gyrocopters actually kind of makes sense, because vampires can't do anything about them. On the other hand, if you look at the Bretonnian player, I mean, I guess he invested a little bit just to see if he could get a little bit of killing power out of this little army here, but obviously the main investment was his cavalry. I don't understand this at all. I mean, if you're gonna go with the strategy of just using a ton of gyrocopters, if you're gonna play Bretonnia, I mean, personally, if I was gonna do this, I would go Empire. So the dwarf player would be used to snipe any flying lords, whereas the Empire would be used to snipe any grounded lords, which we both use grounded lords. I have Heinrich Kemmler, which is the one I always pretty much use, and he has a grounded mantra, I think, on a boarded Hellsteed. But I mean, if you're going to use this type of strategy, you have to box up your infantry. You have to just push them right at the back of the map, and you have to just box up, like just the Bretonnian turtle. Do the Bretonnian turtle, because this strategy that the Bretonnian player uses is what's going to lose them the game. I mean, they're going to lose anyways, because we just have way too many beat shields for them to cut through. Not to mention these guys, the gyrocopters for some reason bothered. I mean, they would kill Horan, they wanted to go after kills opposed to actually getting the kill that they needed to get, which was against Heinrich Kemmler. I really do not feel bad using vampire counts when I use Heinrich, because he's so easy to kill. And I was looking at these gyrocopters and, oh fuck, what have I done? He's going to get killed instantly, and he literally does not get touched once. The entire game he has full health. I do not understand it. It's incredibly easy to kill Kemmler with gyrocopters. Yeah, they just, I guess they just wanted to get as much kills. Maybe he thought, you know, the more kills we get on the infantry, you know, it'll do a morale shock, that type of thing. I don't know. I mean, the gyrocopters get a ton of kills, but it's not the kills he needs. The kills he needs are against Manfred and Heinrich, and he just doesn't get them. So that's basically what wins for the other battle. And so obviously the Bretonnian player is just getting absolutely decimated. Now his cavalry does survive till the game, and it's the cavalry that gets destroyed that basically wins us the game, because he has no land units. Which obviously, if you have no land units, you have to, if you only have flying units left, you have to actually, like, you know, land them. But there's actually kind of, it's not a glitch, but it's like an exploit type of thing where you can do, if you have flying units and you have to land, what you can do is you just actually constantly cycle charge in and out, and as long as you don't get caught, that'll actually count as you landed for like a few seconds. So you can actually, like, I had a match where it lasted 20 minutes, because the last 4 minutes of the game I completely decimated his army, but he had flying and Lewin Kerr. So you just kept constantly charging in and out, and it ended up drawing, because I could kill Lewin Kerr and he couldn't kill the rest of my army, so that was kind of annoying. But the Bretonnian, like, little resistance, I don't even know what to call it, that just gets absolutely decimated, obviously. And his cavalry, honestly, I don't understand why he didn't just push his cavalry to the flanks and just keep them away. The only problem that he has to deal with realistically is a White King and Black Knights, but they're not that hard to kill. when you have the Grail Knight. So what he should have done really is, if he isn't going to box up, he should have just pushed his one unit away just in the corner, because there's no way to really deal with them. There's no way that me and Empty could deal with him other than the Black Knights, but then you can just designate, you know, gyrocopters to trying to snipe the lords, or just, you know, it doesn't really make much sense, because as soon as the Bretonnian player dies, the entire army dies. So that's what's going to happen basically. It's just, I mean, we can't touch the gyrocopters. They're just, you know, an evil we can't rid. And yeah, it's, I mean, in theory, the gyrocopters were a good choice, considering no one could deal with them on the vampires. Even a dragon is going to have it in huge difficulty getting rid of all of these copters. So, especially if the Bretonnian player just if he rid of his cavalry and went for like a box formation and then brought a paladin and fly and Leoncoeur on the hippogriff, then I would have won. Maybe not. I don't know. Who knows? But the fact that he doesn't kill Kemlar, I mean, Kemlar's going to be right in the battle at all times as well. I mean, where is he now? Let's have a look. Yeah, he is. Look, I mean, Kemlar is just right in the mix. Just singing in the rain. Yet, for some reason, he's going after zombies and crib towers that regenerate. It makes no sense. Just, if anything, just drop as many bombs on his face as humanly possible. I mean, he gets a little bit of a decent shot there, but I don't even think it does any damage, to be honest. I'm pretty sure he ends full health, so... Yeah, so the Dwarven Lord isn't dead, but I'm pretty sure he routed, and he's going to get dealt with pretty soon. I'm pretty sure he routes away, and then I just end up killing him. So the Dwarven player has, well, nothing left other than the gyrocopters, and the Bretonnian player's army's dead, other than small pocket of resistance. Right, yeah, I mean, fair enough if you want to get as many kills as humanly possible with these guys at the start of the game, then do that, but at least just in the late game, get rid of them, just push them away to the side so these gyrocopters can do as much damage as humanly possible, because I think this as well, yeah, this would be the shit of the Lord, because as soon as the Bretonnian dies, it's gyrocopters all day and they're just going to get absolutely destroyed, or they're just going to instantly rout because their Lord's about to die. So as soon as Bretonnia goes, the dwarves immediately follow, which is, you know, not exactly a great strategy. But then again, bringing like how much cavalry, I mean, this is so risky. I mean, I guess it's good if you bring, you know, hex race and that type of thing, but I mean, Blood Knights, I mean, all we need to do is bring two units of Blood Knights and we just absolutely destroy his cavalry, especially if I have a, you know, a flying necromancer. I mean, I have a necromancer, obviously, but he's not flying, so he isn't going to be that effective at healing cavalry because it's going to be mostly far away. But as you can see, this mass migration of troops, it's just basically just chase the cavalry, and he's going to make a mistake for some reason. There's no way to catch him, yet he comes back and makes it easy. I mean, yeah, fair enough, I've got knights that are technically quicker, and I'm pretty sure I have done some carb, so it does make them, if I use it, it will give them quite a decent speed boost, but these knights are going to destroy them anyways, so I don't understand why you would come in back into the fight. Just run away, and if you get caught, just hit them, then run away again. It's confusing. This strategy relies on having ground troops, and the one thing the Bretonnian player does not want to do is keep his troops alive. He just wants to kind of, you know, he let these, I mean, look how many just dead bodies here. He let these little militia army, I don't even know what you could really, resistance, get destroyed, and then his cavalry is just going to get kind of grounded out. So I don't know, it was confusing. You know, it's, in theory, it kind of worked, in the sense that he was going to get a ton of kills with gyrocopters because they were going to remain unchallenged. And even if, because we had no flying units, even if we did have flying units, it would have been incredibly difficult to kill these gyrocopters. All he would have had to do really is just go towards these peasant archers, and it would have been incredibly difficult to kill these, because if I had Vargeist, if I had the Terrorgeist, if I had Velbats, if I had Fly and Franz, they would have had to deal with both the guns from the gyrocopter and the peasant archers. So if you're going to use this type of strategy, I would bring Empire and I'd bring a Luminarch Haitian. I would just bring a ton of Spearmen. So just Bretonnia in theory could work, if you, especially if you bring Fly and Leoncoeur, but yeah. Tactically it was somewhat sound, but in execution it just didn't really work out too well. So As you can see, I guess he decided that, yeah, you know what, these Black Knights are going to be really easy to kill with the Grail Knights, but I mean, Invocation of the Heck is going to make it so these guys are just going to be in this battle forever, and, well, as you can see, what turned into a very advantageous fight for the Grail Knights turned into their decimation. I mean, they're pretty much going to just be done. I mean, they're going to come back, I'm pretty sure, but it's... I mean, the fact that these two guys came back is a blessing, and it should have triggered something in his head where, okay, you know what, we're going to lose this, I'm going to just push these guys away to try and hide them, and, you know, we'll see what happens, see if the Dwarven player decides to go after the generals, but instead he's, you know, he's kill whoring. I mean, why this? I don't understand. Kemla isn't here. He's like, there he is. Look at him. He's just like trotting along. I don't understand why you just wouldn't go after him. He has no armor. He doesn't have that much health. I mean, cycle charge him, shoot him, drop bombs on his face. I mean, as soon as you kill Kemla, my army's going to rout, because I mean, what I've got left is pretty much just Black Knights, Crypt Horrors. That's it, man. Like, I've got some zombies, but zombies are going to die incredibly easy. More zombies, more zombies. That's all I've got. Zombies and Black Knights, basically, and one Crypt Horror. So, whereas on a zombie, I'm pretty sure I spawn a skeleton as well, just to be kind of a troll, just to piss his cavalry off. It's actually a pretty funny strategy, just randomly spawning in zombies. It's actually really good at like keeping like demi-griffs and stuff. It's kind of like a net of Ammontok, but it's like a little riskier, and it actually does damage. But at this point, I mean, his lord is just going to get absolutely destroyed, and as soon as his lord dies, the entire army dies. For some reason, he's finally decided to kind of support the Bretonnian player. Then he decides not to. I do not know why he did this, but again, look, Heinrich Kemmler's just kind of chilling, just watching the craziness. And yeah, that's it basically. I mean, what else to say? In theory it worked, but I mean, the fact that the Bretonnian player went all cavalry, no real defensive capabilities whatsoever, and why you wouldn't go after the generals. I mean, the whole point of, if you're going to go against vampire counts, everyone knows how to beat them. You go after the general, that's how you beat them. Yeah, for some reason, the last person they would go after is the general. It makes no sense. I mean, I've got Heinrich Kemmler. He's, statistically speaking, I'm pretty sure he is the worst legendary lord on the game. It isn't going to take that much to kill him. So I don't get why you would go after zombies when they're just there for fodder, when you've got the general just standing there. Multiple occasions he could have just pulled these, one or two gyrocopters would have probably dealt with them in like fairly quickly. So it's a little confusing, I'm not gonna lie. Am I ever gonna try this strategy out? No, because it's like not that fun, to be honest. And I mean, you were a little kind of annoyed when we saw it. It was like, oh Jesus Christ, what we're going up against. But I mean, had, you know, used the gyrocopters more effectively at, you know, killing the lords, it would have been a huge problem. But I mean, just look how many kills these guys got. You know, they got a ton of kills. But look what they killed. Look how many zombies we had. You know what I mean? I mean, you know, we didn't do that many kills because there wasn't that much to kill, really. And the majority of my kills just came from the knights killing the peasant archers, so I don't know, it was confusing. I mean, I get it. I get that these are pretty much untouchable when against vampire counts, unless you go very heavy flyers, which we didn't go any flyers. And the reason we didn't actually go any flyers is because we knew that Bretonnia was probably going to be either Pegasus Knights or Flying Lord, supplemented with, you know, 2 or 3 gyrocopters. I mean, geez, it's a good job I actually kind of realised the fact that we were under threat in the air, and so we didn't bring any flying units, otherwise we would have been dead pretty effectively. But still, I don't understand. At least kill Kemmler. I get that he's going to be difficult to kill because he's on a horse and he's armoured and he has good health, but Kemmler has nothing. He has 15 armour and like 2,000 odd health, so just a bit of a weird battle. Strategy wise, the dwarf player kind of made sense if you go after the general. But if you're gonna get this strategy, you need someone that's gonna, your teammate needs to box up. You need to get some type of like heavy, kind of difficult to penetrate formation. Bretonnia was not a bad idea in the sense that they have a lot of cheap infantry, cheap peasants, you know, flying lords. But personally, I'd rather go Empire just to get the Illuminati Hish and a Bright Wizard. That's the best form. If you're going to use this, I mean, you know, you have. I mean, Empire is the best kind of tag team partner to have. So I don't know, just a weird battle. Kind of annoying, but at the same time, it was, you know, wasn't that big of a deal since we won. So late as.